Won't he do it? What's going on, everybody? Let's get this party started. This is your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33. And today is Saturn's Day, Saturday, August the 6th, 2022, and the time is a little after 9:04 Central. We want to jump right in, brothers. It's got a powerful message for you as we're gearing up and preparing the soil for August the 15th, where we continue to reveal, explain, illuminate, and simplify the groundbreaking reality that aligns your mentality with source code. So today, my brothers and sisters, a little bit off the beaten path from what we talked about yesterday and the day before. Tonight we want to get into over and understanding, think, feel, behave. This is the metaphysics, or this is the basic understanding of the metaphysics behind different events, same perception. The situation, events, have no power over your emotions. Your perception does. Tonight, we need to reveal, explain, illuminate, and simplify how your perception controls your reality. Now, we all know this, but we need to understand it so that way we can stop it. Because right now, what's happening, if you buy into the current narrative that's coming, you're going to find yourself in serious conundrum financially because you're going to react the same because your perception, which is your frame, which is your belief system, is the same. Different events. Look at your relationships. You change out different people, but yet you have the same problems. Notice that the people, notice that the places, notice that the things, the nouns, they rotate, they change. Yet, your perception of those people, those places, those things, they stay the same. And so, what I've learned is to monitor my perception, not the events and the situation. So I don't pay attention to the news. I watch TV primarily for the weather. So if we're planning somewhere, if we're going somewhere, I like to make sure that, okay, I'm kind of aware of, it's hot, rain, cold, hurricane, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. But other than that, I don't really pay attention to events. Now, the reason why this is immensely important is because events change. Your perception does not. And so what's happening is we got to start examining our construct. And now we talk about this a lot because it's module number one of the life management system. And we're getting ready to go into the metaphysics and the science behind it. And we're going to go into the understanding of the universal unified field of physics, which brings about the super unification or the lack thereof. Right now we are operating in the metaphysics and the science of discombobulation instead of the metaphysics and the science of unification. Because when the head, the heart, and the gut is unified, there's a physical feeling that you are united with source. And so now events happen, but you got a physical feeling of being united with source. And once you have that physical feeling of being united with source, something mystical and magical happens. And you will find yourself, just like I do every day, really, really being hard on yourself so that way you don't allow yourself to react to people, places, and things in relationships. You could, I've packed my shit and left multiple times because I react to situations. Now, the situations don't have power over me anymore. So that I don't have the emotional response in the relationship. Otherwise, there's no way me and my wife will be married if I reacted to every situation. Whether it's the kids, whether it's the in-laws, whether it's a situation with it, if I reacted to the increase in sales or the decrease in sales, if I reacted to, then I wouldn't be in business. If I reacted to my weight gain or my weight loss. So now I monitor my perception, so I make sure I have the same perception regardless of the different events. But I know that my perception is based upon my frame. And remember we talked about reframing. And we talked about belief systems. So now situations don't affect me or my response. So now I don't try to control situations. I don't try to control people. I don't try to control places. And I don't try to control things. That's why my marriage works. Because I gave up trying to control my wife. And I just figured, hey, if I'm with her, I might as well love her unconditionally. So I don't give a shit about the events or the situation. Now I have absolutes, like everybody else. And if those are violated, then I will respond accordingly. But those, my absolutes, have been respected. So long as those absolutes that are based upon what? Your construct of yourself. So you must have a proper self-image. So everything in life comes down to the same thing that we talk about, and that is a high self-esteem. And then we talked about the other night. What is the highest on your list? Everybody has a list. It's called your highest value list. You have priorities, you have values and morals. Then you get to, you graduate from those and you get to what should be the highest on your list. And we did the show on that, and the thing that should be the highest on your list is what I call production, making money. But people tell me all the time, well, life's not about money. Okay, without money, my definition of money, which is what? Very high self-esteem. Because a very high self-esteem gives you the 5 keys that we talked about today that allows you to make $100,000 every 90 days. If you got these 5 keys, you can make $100,000 every 90 days regardless of the economy, because it doesn't depend upon the economy. It depends upon, number 1, your confidence. It depends upon, number 2, putting your confidence in the form of a product, service, or information. So it's good to have confidence, but now you got to tell me how you got the confidence. You got to put it into a digital product, like an ebook, or you got to put it into one-on-one counseling. But speaking of which, hey, I'm gonna start by doing my one-on-one counseling, but it's $250 an hour. Why? Because I don't want you to waste your time and my time. Nobody's gonna pay me $250 an hour to talk about the weather. If you do, I'm down. I'm okay with that. Excuse me. Why? Because I value my time more now. Because now I'm more aware of my worth and value. So confidence, ebook, then we talked about the funnel, the website. We talked about the irresistible offer, and then we talked about signing people up. So we did that today. If you do that, then you're able to answer the question, what would I do after I have $1 million? Or what would I do, how would I feel after I lost my gold weight? What would I do after I got my college degree? What would I do after I married my boo-boo? I found my dream girl, my dream guy. Now we're going to get into the metaphysics of acting as if. So what I just did now was I just reframed your narrative. If you do this tonight, as we talked about in the previous show, which we talked about, which is how to manifest in your sleep. We talked about that. Manifesting in your sleep. And what did you manifest in your sleep is what we're going to be talking about on August the 15th when we get into the science of it, which is, how does it really feel? Can I produce, because I got mirror neurons. We're going to break that down on August the 15th. And according to science, mirror neurons mirror the system that it sees or observes. It doesn't have to go through the experience of it. It just has to see it. So there's brain cells that react in a particular way when the brain cells in the optical cortex absorbs or observes something. The brain cells stimulate the brain as if it is receiving the thing observed. Again, as we all know, you can go watch porn. What happens when you watch porn? Well, you get stimulated. What happens if you watch a scary movie? Well, you get scared. What happens when you watch a comedy flick? You remember way back in the day, the Kings of Comedy? Man, I laughed the whole hour, man. That shit was fun. Why? Why was I not crying like at a funeral? Because I got mirror neurons. I'm observing laughter, so I laugh. So what if you observe wealth? Then you wealthy. Now, I remember I got to put down science behind it, though. Because one thing to say it, but when you get the science behind it, now you can believe it. Because we got Harvard, Yale, Princeton, we got all of these, Caucasian schools. I know y'all like y'all white folks. And I ain't mad at you. Got a couple of historically black colleges too. So now the whole game has changed. And the number one mindset obstacle is removed. Because the number one mindset obstacle to all success is your current B-Life system, your frame. Because notice the people, the places, and the things change, yet your response stays the same. If the friends you have are the same friends you had 5 years ago, you ain't grown one iota. Now, ain't nothing wrong with it if you're already a millionaire, or if you're already in pristine health, if you are the smartest person in your circle, and if you are married to your boo-boo of your dreams, then, okay, there's no need. I mean, you should grow, but really, you're satisfied. You're happy. So let me make sure you understand, because perception, not the event, is what's important. So we focus on the event. Everybody like, dog, did you see what happened in Uvalde? Nobody gives a shit. Why? Because it's your perception of what happened in Uvalde. Look at what just happened with the jab. Some of you guys right now is like, man, look at Republicans. Some of you guys are pro. Like Trump, I got no problem with Trump. Everybody I know, they don't like Trump. How come I ain't got no problem with Trump? Trump is like our politicians. There has not been no politician that has done one iota for a black man or a black woman. Zero. Just the history of time. So Trump is no different. But what Trump did do, he passed tax laws, so I got a fat income tax. Or, let me phrase that, I got a chance to write off more shiznits, just because Trump is pro-business. So, I ain't got no problem with Trump. Why? He's a snake. They're all snakes, though. Obama was a snake. Dr. King was a snake. Dr. King, man, I need to look doctor. His name was not Martin. His name was Michael. You should see who talked to his wife. Dr. King was a pimp. Oh, yeah, nobody want to talk about Michael. Now, I don't know about Martin, but Michael I know Michael. Do the research. I got $100 grand, do the research. But you got a whole day. There's a Martin Luther King in every hood in America. Why? I'm telling you, man, anybody that the dominant culture promotes, you should hate. Let me say it again. Any person, place, or thing that's promoted by the dominant culture is a control mechanism. You keep your black ass on the plantation. I mean, let me rephrase that. Your beautiful round Alcibi line behind. Is that better, Sister Shirley of the West? Is that better? So what are you saying? Well, according to the metaphysics and the science behind how the brain works, we want to control people, places, and things. Especially if you're like me. I'm a control freak. I'm born in September. So I like details. I want to run the show. Well, unfortunately, the average that keep it on, they don't like to, you know, they like, my wife doesn't like to be controlled. So I say, hey, baby, where you going? Okay, now she always tells me, like, where she going, blah, blah, blah. But I can be a little anal retentive. Like today, we're in a brand new $1 million house. I go up in, you know, Eric's room. There's a plate sitting on his little game thing. He's probably been there for 2 days. Shit, I'm down there, blow a gasket. Curse everybody out. So you mean, so what the, nah, you mean, I don't think so, bro. Nah, we're not doing that. So they all look at me like, what the hell's wrong with this fool? Well, I was paying for the house. So yeah, of course, I was a little more invested. Kids, they don't know. They don't know how you get ants in the house, how you get roaches, how does it start? That's how it starts. See, right now, there's no holes in the wall. This is a freaking brand new house built from the ground up. We got plates and shit all over the crumbs on the floor. Fuck no. I don't think so. So damn straight. Clean that shit up. Or you get your ass, you need to find somewhere else to go. Now nobody understands. They say, damn, what's wrong with him? The dude, they're all looking at me like I'm the Grinch. Because controlling. But I know that about myself. So I know I'm a control freak. Everybody that's born in September is a control freak. That's how you left. Because remember, our gift is detailed. So what I got to do? Well, I got to keep myself in check. That means I don't go ballistic unless it's justified, like today. Now, I'm sure if I brought my little bonus son in here right now and asked him, hey, Alex, did you think, my reaction was warranted? He probably would say, well, probably not. Why? Because he did that at the old house. And I'm going to tell him his mama, like, to protect it, we should start doing some new behaviors. So, because I already know me. So 3 months, really before that, I was telling them, when we get to the new house, we're not doing that. So in my defense, I prepared the soil for my control issues. Because I like to control people. I like to control places. And I like to control things. But that's a disaster because you cannot control other people. And you cannot control places. And you cannot control things. So I have a conundrum. So what do I got to do? I have to control my perception of people, places, and things. So what I've learned is I ask myself, like I did today, the $1 billion question. I don't go off unless it's, pack my shit and move situations. Just like I don't confront people during road rage incidents unless I'm willing to die. So I ask myself before I put it behind an individual and go in my glove box, am I willing to die today? If the answer is yes, then it's on the top. If the answer is not, am I willing to die for this cause? Somebody cut me off in traffic, they shot me the finger. Am I willing to die? Yeah, I live to fight another day. So I'm gonna drive by and say, Jesus loves you, brother. And I'm gonna keep on going. Why? Yeah. I've learned now to change my perception. Because the situations never change. You will always have the same situations in your life. There's always, there always going to be, good people and bad people. There's always going to be taxes. There's always going to be bad weather. There's always going to be people who try to gaslight you. Situations never change. People, places, and things, bad things will always happen. But you have control over your perception. How do you interpret those things? So the problem is different events, but same interpretation. So your perception is off. So everything that happens in your life, like in my life, like today and every day. So when I went in the room and I saw plates sitting in a brand new house that I'm paying for, So I know leaving food on the floor, even though it wasn't on the floor, but crumbs. So, hey, you got to vacuum that up, brother. You need to get that plate out of here, homie. Matter of fact, you need to eat downstairs. I don't want to sit up in your room no more. So he looked at me like, what's this? I used to do it at the old house. Yeah, I know your mama used to make you do that. But we're not doing that here. So it's hard to train because if we had been doing it at the old house, then I would be having to retrain at the new house. But we didn't. Even though I suggested it, suggestions went unheard, but I wasn't tripping. Because I already knew, because I already told everybody, when I get to the new house, shit's going to change. There's a new regime. Why? It's totally different. It's a brand new house. So no, we ain't going to be jumping and punching holes in the walls and screaming and yelling and doing all the crazy shit we did at the old house. But that's because situations don't change. Your response does. So as you go up higher in life, now we have to really get down again to the smoking gun. What's a smoking gun? The smoking gun is, if you could answer this question, what would you do after you have blank? So when I was in the old house, I asked myself, what would I do after I move into the new house? So I sit down, we had a family meeting. I said, hey, after, this was 2-3 years ago, when we started the journey, we had a big meeting. Like I do in my first marriage. We have family meetings. I just call all the kids, let's go. And I sit down and I tell them, because remember, I already know where I'm going. So nobody, I shouldn't say nobody, but few people, which they shouldn't, nobody should have your business. But you should be able to answer this question. So if you cannot answer this question for yourself tonight, you need to check yourself. Because you're in trouble. Because you have to be able to answer this question before August the 15th. Whether you take my class or not to get into the science behind the only way for you to be successful moving forward, because remember, the whole world has changed already. According to NASA, the energy that came from Polaris, which is a North Star system that's not in our galaxy, that is 9 times or 7, the sun is 7 or 9, 7 or 8, I don't know how many times. I forgot. I did the show way back in the day. Anyway, it's way bigger and way powerful than our sun. So it's overriding our sun. So our sun is not a sun. It's an amplifier. There's another sun behind our sun. It's called the black sun. It's called the black hole sun. So our sun is kind of like a fake sun. Our moon is kind of like a fake moon. They're both supposedly put there by somebody. Nobody knows who. And so there is, just like in the movie, the series Westworld, all the humans are controlled by this this sound. So are you. So Westworld is telling you what's going on in our world. But, we're too busy watching. A lot of us are watching Love and Hip Hop. We're not watching what they're telling us. Do y'all remember that movie with Johnny Depp way back in the day called Transcendental or Transcendence? Y'all remember that one? Y'all should watch that one again and watch how Johnny Depp, his character, kind of like with the movie Lucy, becomes, I'm going to use the word AI, and is able to affect everything with his brain, his consciousness, because his consciousness is so powerful than everybody else's. So everybody he controls them with his brain. So you got that same power. But the way you do it is with your perception. So remember we talked about sales. We talked about success. And we were breaking down what is your highest value on your list. That should be it. I'm talking because I want to influence. Otherwise, I'll stop talking. So when you talk, you should want to influence. But the only question is, influence what? And why? Well, I want to influence you. But more importantly, I got to influence me. So the number one thing is, I want to influence me to do what? Produce. Because nothing happens unless you produce. That means evolve. That means love. Now, the Bible says faith, hope, and love is the greatest. Remember, what's the highest? So if you don't have this at the highest, you're in trouble. Especially moving forward. Because now, the neutrinos is only activating, as I'll be breaking down on August the 15th, the highest possible good. That means high esteem. So only people that have extremely, extremely high esteem will be successful moving forward. Because the universe only responds to high esteem. That's called a made-up mind. So this is what is called a highly structured mental disposition, or what is called a molecular state. So the cells on a cellular level, which we're going to break it down on August the 15th, cost us $249. Why? Well, how would you feel after you won $1 million? Now, as I said in the manifestation class, the dream state, right before you go to bed, if you put yourself in a state of mind where your desire is fulfilled, when you go to sleep, you astral project, and you go walk around in a whole nother dimension, and you find and you connect with source or somebody else, an ancestor, some people say. You get the answer, you come back to your body, and in the morning you wake up. Your higher self whispers to you, go Bob, you will automatically know what to do. You don't even know why. You have a feeling, because you remember, August the 15th, we break it down, the feeling of being unified with source. So I have a feeling every day. So the day I had to check myself. Why? Because I had a feeling that said, you reacting to the same events, but you forgot your concept of self. That means that I was dropping back down to a lower vibration. Simply, that means I wasn't acting in love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, and self-control. I was trying to control people, places, and things. You can't do that. I can only take action from a place of my desire fulfilled. Let me say it again. You have to stop focusing on the situation. I don't care what it is. Situation could be you got more bills than money. Nobody cares. It could be you went to the doctor, they gave you a bad health report. Again, nobody cares. That's just a situation. What is your perception of the situation? It's like if you go to, let's just say if you walk into a party and everybody stopped and everybody started laughing. How do you feel? Me? I'll be pissed off. Fuck off. Why? Because why is everybody laughing at me, man? What if you walk into a room full of people, everybody stops and they look at you and they just bust out laughing at you? Well, me, I'm going to look, I'm like, what? I got a booger in my nose or something? I'm going to be looking around like, what's so funny? But what if I don't know that behind me is a clown that they ordered to come to, let's say, entertain the kids? So I don't know, I have no idea that there's a clown behind me, but my perception, I assume that everybody's laughing at me because I walked in. And I get upset and I react and be like, what y'all laughing at? And I start going off, not knowing that shit ain't got nothing to do with me. That's life. Everybody, you are reacting to situations and shit that ain't got nothing to do with you because you got a flawed viewpoint. Excuse me? What's a flawed viewpoint? You don't have God's viewpoint. Ooh, man, that's the point of the class on August 15th. So your highest value statement isn't found in the biblical text that has the fruit of the Spirit. You don't see the world from a state of love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, and self-control. Against such things, there is no problems. So every time you have a reaction, it's because you're in a place of inaction. Because verbs, not nouns, perception is a verb. Reaction is a noun. Because when you react, what you're doing is an event outside of you happens that creates a reaction inside of you. It's not supposed to be that way. Events should happen outside of you. Your perception of the event should be inside of you. So your inside revelation should override the external demonstration. Now that sounds good in theory, right? So how do we do it? Well, you do what they call the after effects. What is the after effect? So to me, I live in two places simultaneously, which we're going to be breaking down on August 15th. I live in what is called the assumptive. I broke this down before. The reason I'm good at sales is because I operate in the assumptive close. So until somebody tell me, fuck no, I'm going to assume you want to buy. You got to tell me 3 times. Otherwise, I'm just going over the close. I'm going to say, so how do you want to pay for that? That's what I did when I was in sales. Somebody comes to the shop. When we're at a coffee shop, bookstore, lunch, they walk in. I'll say, hey, man, yeah, I got the books on sale. I just said, how would you want to pay that today? I said, excuse me? Was that going to be cash or check? Charge? Well, I'm just looking around. Okay, well, just let me know which one you're taking, because I got this book on sale. I got this book on sale. Also, like coffee and don't say at the front. So everybody walking through the coffee shop. Why did you come? You didn't come to look around. You can tell other people you can't look around. You're not going to vibe nobody to go look around. You drove in there because you were interested. So I already know that. So I'm just going to assume. I've been doing it ever since. I taught my kids that. So my daughters, they live in the dream. Because everywhere they go, they just assume that everybody's got to wait on them. They assume that the life is going to work. I wake up every day and I'm assuming money flows to me easily and effortlessly. When I go to Walmart, I just assume there's going to be a parking spot available at the front, so I ain't got to walk. I just assume that everybody look at me and they think I'm the baddest thing since sliced bread. I just assume. So I operate on the assumption. So again, it is done unto me as I assume. That's biblical too. It's in that. Next, I operate on the after effect. Y'all call that faith. So what I do is, for 2 years, all I've been talking about is after I move into the new house, we're going to do this. After I move into the new house, now I could bring Gil in here and she'll tell you. I've been here. That's why people ask me, how does it feel? It's like, well, I've been here 2 years ago. I moved here 2 years ago. So in-laws and family and friends, they say, man, you got the new house, man. Man, how does it great? How does it feel? I'm already somewhere else now. So what happens to the brain when you stop saying, I want, when you stop saying, I'm going to get, and you start saying, I already have. But you can't say, I have $1 million, because the brain's going to say, where's it at? So what you do is you trick the brain by saying, what would it feel like? Because then, bam, you activate the imagination. The moment you say, let's say you single, you should ask yourself, what would it feel like to go on a date with my dream girl or my dream guy? Whatever that feeling, you should do that every night before you go to bed. In less than 21 days, your dream girl or your dream guy will show up in your life. Don't believe me? Try it. I do it all the time. Or done it. Past tense. So what does that mean? Like that with money. So I tell myself, what would I do after I make $1,000 a day? So what would I do? Well, I've added up my bills. That's how I came up with $1,000 a day. I've added up the people, the places, the things, the investment, the feeling. So in my brain at night when I go to bed, I'm like, damn, what would I do after I receive? What would I do after I meet my goal weight? What would I feel after? See, when you say, because now the brain is taking you to that place instead of fighting you because you're not in that place. See, manifestation is crazy because they all work. All I do is fine tune it so I get there faster than anybody else. Because it takes 60 days. to manifest. It takes me 3. Now, I'm already at the place. I'm just making a transition. So every person, place, and thing is not affected. I never create, lose, win. In every transition, everybody wins. I'm in our first divorce. The reason why we go on vacation together with my, my current wife and my ex-wife and my kids and her kids and everybody gets along was because I made the transition, the way that I made the transition. And because of what I did after we was divorced. All over until Shamora died, I still was paying for all of my ex-wife's bills. Afterwards, I was 5 years after we divorced. I was still sending her money. No judge, nobody told me. To the point where my current wife was getting pissed off. Why are you still paying her bills? She got my daughter. So, my daughter, Shamora at that time, was going through epilepsy and she could, so even though her mom was a deadbeat and was homeless every other week, blowing the money on drugs that I was sending her, I didn't give up. My daughter still there. And my daughter didn't want to leave. So the money was for my daughter. Now, how you perceive that, hey, that ain't my problem. So I don't care about how other people perceive my actions. I don't give up. My money, I do what the hell I want with it. I'm grown. So you might have to check your perception. Same thing like I got to check mine. See, perception is crazy. It's not the events that's going on in the world, brothers and sisters. It's your perception of the events. If you could change your perception, you get out of Groundhog Day today. You just walk out. Because you just refuse to accept Groundhog Day and Groundhog Day. You now see evil as good. Now I see there is no such thing. I keep telling you guys that, like, I don't have none of the problems that Christians have. I don't have because there's no devil. So I don't fight. What am I praying for? Because I got everything that I need. Because remember, I ask myself every day, what would I do after? Because the Bible says that you're supposed to act as if. The Bible says faith. It's a substance of things hoped for. That means you got the thing you're hoping for, you already got it. It's the evidence of things not seen. So you're supposed to have evidence, even though you can't see it, you're supposed to have it. See, y'all not acting as if. Y'all don't see people read the Bible, but they don't know what the fuck it says. Because if they did, there's no way you could walk around praying. There's no way you could have hope. There's no way you could be wishing and crying and saying, oh, please, what you praying for? Because faith is a substance. Substance is like tangible, hard business. You're supposed to have substance. Well, where's it at? It should be in your skull. That's what mine's at. Until it shows up in your hand. That's where you got a Groundhog Day. See, your frame, frame is out for me. Where's your frame? Your frame is your belief system. Where's your belief system? Well, Doc, bad shit happened to me. Well, bad shit doesn't happen to me. Every time something bad happens to me, I reframe it. So I get to do it. I refuse. Bad shit doesn't happen to me. Now, people say that's semantics. Damn straight. The whole world is semantics. What does that mean? It's how you look at it. It's how you frame it. Now, some things are a little harder to frame positively. Like when my daughter died. Well, she told me for 2 years before she died that she was ready to go. Like she told me, you're not in this body, Dad. You do not understand what it's like to drop and then wake up 15 minutes later and everybody's looking at you. And you don't remember shit. So it's easy for me to say, I want you to stay here. Because why? I don't have evidence. So you see, you can't put on your perception on somebody else. It's yours. Until that event shows up at your house. Then call me, bruh. Until then, don't speak on it. Until you walk a mile in somebody else's shoes, like put them on and walk in them, you shouldn't be talking about it. So no, I don't talk nothing about alcohol or drugs. Why? I don't know nothing about it. To me, you just hot. Obviously, if it's that easy, Everybody would just stop, but they don't. So, somebody asked me, hey, do you counsel on drugs? Nope, I can refer you, and I'm not going to talk to nobody about drugs. I don't know shit about no drugs. So I stop trying to control people, places, and things. It still pops up though. Somebody says something, immediately, control. And then, immediately my spirit checks me and say, hold up, time out, homie. Pull your horses back. But how did my spirit check me so fast? What we talking about on August 15th. So I'm already physically feeling unified with Source. So immediately, you text me, I'm going to say crazy shit to you. And then 30 seconds later, to a minute later, my spirit checks me and said, you know what you just said was wrong. Now, I may or may not text you back depending on what I think need to be done. But I literally know I just fucked up. And if I don't correct my perception, because the situation is going to come back again until my perception of it changes. That's Groundhog Day. That's Groundhog Day. You just keep repeating the same shit over and over again because God is trying to tell you, change your perception, change your perception. The same, I don't care how many people you divorce and remarry. They're going to be just like your ex until you change your perception. That's the shadow work. See, people tell me, I talked to my daughter the other day and she said, yeah, you know, that person makes me feel pissed off. I said, no, it's not the other person, it's you. No, it's not me, it's them. Nope. See, you make you feel. Nobody else can make you feel. You do. So when somebody does something to you and you feel what? You feel angry. Why? Well, it's your perception of what they did. So when somebody makes you feel angry, instead of me attacking the person, sometimes somebody says something to me, I say something back to them and then I'm like, uh-oh, you fell for the roky doke. And they, damn, got me again. So I get calm too. Excuse me. Depending on when you catch me, you can say some crazy stuff to me and I'd be like, man, who you talking to, bro? Then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, that's what you doing, dog. Like, come on, you serious? You live in the dream. You're going to blow your dream. You're going to scar your soft knuckles on some other nigga's hard ass head. Like, come on, man. You falling for that? Come on, bro. They did that in middle school. You're a grown ass man. You ain't got time for that. So then I got to like, woo-saw it out, calm down, say, oh, I'm sorry, man, my bad. No disrespect. You could the person say, okay, that's what I thought. I was like, yeah, whatever. But you got some Negroes. Even if you apologize, it's not enough. Then, okay, then I just go back to the old me then. Because, hey, I tried. So your job is stop trying to control situations. Start changing perceptions. We know perceptions is your own individual construct of your reality. And if you are holding yourself in very, very high esteem, which you should be, so that means you're only doing things that produce what we call money, which is what? Energy. So you should only do things that do what? Give you energy instead of take energy. It's easy to tell. I go around certain people, I'm like, oh, damn. I'm trying to hide. Then I go around other people, like, hey, bro, what's up? High-fiving and stuff. So it's pretty easy to tell who you should hang around with and who you should avoid. Now, I got to go back to the power of the after clause. So let me close with this. I guarantee you, like I said today, you can make the worse the economy gets, the more money everybody in this call should make. You should make more money. Like interest rates go up, gas prices go up, everything is going up. You should make more money. Why? Everybody is looking at the situation. You should be the only person interpreting the situation in a positive manner. This is why I like insurance. I think the only reason, when I was in insurance, I was licensed in 36 states and 10 foreign countries. I held my insurance licenses, the cost just to maintain them every year was over $100,000. Thankfully, my employer paid. And I was always the number one sales guy. I used to make over $1 million a month for the company I work for. That's why I quit. Now, they were paying me good. My bonuses were like 20 grand every 3 months. I was making good money, but it wasn't $1 million. When I found out how much money I was making there, I worked there for 5 years, quit 3 times. Worked there for a year and a half, quit. Was gone for a couple of months. Called them back. Hell yeah, we'll take you back. Went for another year, quit again. Then third time I quit, then that's when I started my own agency. And I hired 3 insurance people because I was good at insurance. Why? All of the biggest buildings in the world are insurance companies. I mean, insurance is the greatest racket in the world, man. If I could start life over again, I would be in insurance. Because you collect a premium every month. What are the chances of, like, my house I got to pay, the insurance on this house, pay it every month. There is a chance that there could be, a hurricane or hail damage. It's a chance that they got to pay a place, but risk management. So insurance is you paying money for something that might happen. Is that not the craziest shit I ever heard of? If you really think about it now, I got 4 cars in the driveway. Insurance payment is off the chain. And we driving around because I get it, there is a possibility. But whatever you prepare for, that's what you are going for. See, the brain doesn't work the way insurance does. That's why I love to hate insurance. It's risk management. So you're not supposed to manage risk. You're supposed to manage success, prosperity. In other words, the universe we live in, the world we live in is designed to keep you in poverty. Everything is designed to keep you aware of what might happen. So let me get this right. You mean to tell me I'm preparing for something that, like, in my head, like, man, I cross that bridge when I get there, brother. Bump that. I can keep that. No, I'm paying $400-500 a month in insurance. Man, I would keep that money in my pocket. I've been driving. I've never had an accident. That's my fault. I've been in 3 accidents, and none of them was my fault. Now, I'm years old, and I got shoes older than some of you high vibration Latinos. I got some shoes in the closet that's probably older than some of y'all. Excuse me. And I've been paying insurance all these years. Never filed a claim. You know how much money? I can't say I wasted it because, like they say, it's peace of mind, brother. I always keep my money out. But there's a law that says you got to have insurance. If you get pulled over, you don't go to jail, but they could confiscate. Well, it's black shit, you never know, you might go. And what if you could flip the game of insurance? And instead of you preparing, setting aside money for what could possibly happen negatively, what if you did that positively? That's the power of what I call the after effect. See, the brain is crazy because the brain, thanks, Brent. You know what? And I was thinking about that too, Brent. It's like, my sister just sent me to think of, we have wood floors, and I didn't notice this. I was lucky I didn't notice. Like my office, I got this big, huge, nice office. I can't even use it. Y'all notice the first couple of shows I did when I first got here, that echo in the back, because the office is so big and the seating is one of the highest, what the builder told us, that you can legally build in the state of Texas. It's like 21 feet. It's freaking like going into a church cathedral. Well, there's no sound buffer. So that's the first problem. So now I had to take one of the spare bedrooms. Second problem was we chose no carpet, which is, I love it, but, dog he drinks, and then he kind of drops, out his tongue. And, I'm anal retentive. I know this little shit, for little hair. So I saw that little thing that kind of that rolls around and cleans, that little robot thing, but it's like $1,000, the nice one. So I need like a sweeper. So now that's why my sister sent me like this little cordless vacuum thing that the kids could use in their room, which I'm definitely going to buy one of those. But also, Brent, if you know something that I could use for the living room, that's like the sweeper thing, but you got to buy the little cord, not the cord, the little white thing, the little wet napkin that you put over it. So I'm trying to find something that I could use to keep the floors nice and clean all the time, 24/7, 365, that doesn't hurt the, so on and so forth. What's the point? The point is, like, after I moved into the house, I got to make some adjustments that I didn't know till after I got into the house. There's no way I could have known that I should have told them when I built my office to maybe make a soundproof room. Like, either build something with the walls or just make a small section, kind of like in the bedroom. The closet is perfect. I can almost put a desk in it because the closet is kind of nice. This is a spare bedroom. I've done shows in there. I can go in there, close the door, and just really I can use that as nice. The point is that you have to be the same when you get to where you're going. Because you have an idea of what it's going to be like. But then when you get there, it may be a little different. So you got to make adjustments. That's the same way with your job. The same way, this is really that way with relationships. So you think you know somebody until you move in with them. Woo! Yeah, you think you know somebody. Oh, yeah, it's all lovey-dovey and it's all rainbows and unicorns. Then y'all move in together. Ooh, don't be a blended family. Damn. Man. Whew, I found that out. That was rough. The one mistake that I can't come back from. I told you guys that as a father, I hate it. I can't even talk about it, man. I start crying. I still, that's the only thing that makes me want to go clean traffic. When I think about my daughter, when I finally convinced, when she finally decided to move in with us, and I've said this too many times, there's no diss or deed that nobody remember. Everything that happens in your life is your fucking fault. So it's no dig at nobody. Shamor was my daughter. I was her mother's father. Nobody else. So I own 100%. That's why I talk about it all the time. People tell me that I'll never forgive myself for that mistake. Because I should have known better. Because the same shit, I could not believe that my own daughter was repeating my life. By the time I figured it out, drew the line in the sand, started packing my shit to move out, the next day, actually 2 days, 3 days later, Shamor was dead. Saved my marriage, costing my daughter's life. Now some people say that's a sad story. That's a damn good lesson. All I do, I don't take losses, I take lessons. That one, I never forget that one. Should never happen again. I guarantee you that. Some lessons, they hard, but you gotta take them. Once you establish that disposition, you always win. Because you always learn. Today, I learned a lot of stuff today. Every day I learn. That's why I don't understand how people live through life and they don't learn. Every day I learn something new about myself and about other people. So if you can do this, and what I said today with the $90,000, I mean, we said for a year. I do it every 3 months. And then what we're going to do on September the 1st, what I'm going to go through, show you guys how to set up. And it's crazy because soon as I start talking about it, I've seen 3 TikTok videos of guys telling people to go to their bank, take a $5,000 line of credit, then go to cash it out, then go to bank number 2, deposit that $5,000. Then pay bank number 1 off. Exactly what I'm doing. There's people on TikTok that do the exact same thing, except with 3 banks instead of 3 cards or 3 loan places. So that when you are building your credit, you get your credit score up to 7. Like right now, I'm back up to 7. I'm trying to get it to like my sister Brenda. My sister Brenda is like, she's like at 850. I'm like, what the? That's such a thing? Shit, I thought I was balling at 750. I was all happy. Then my sister texted me like, bro, sit down, dog. I'm at 8. Like, oh snap, I gotta get there with my sister Brenda. But how you get up there? When you take the money, like you never spend the money. You just take the money and just pay it. But you pay it and you build credit. And because you pay it on time and you pay it off early, the bank, next time you borrow it, they say, hey, you got 5, this time we're going to give you 6. Remember, I thought I was 5 when I was at like 1, now I'm up to like 20,000. Every time I borrow, I come, oh, Mr. Rogers, it's just, you've been with us for so long, sir. Here you go, give you 20K. So that comes in handy when you need a lump sum of money. White folks been doing it. So on September the 1st, I got to teach y'all how to do it. Then I'm going to have Brother Jibberday, who does it, remember Gold Grill Yard? Brother Jibberday does it, but he does it a little different. So I'm going to have him explain his method that he does up in Atlanta. And remember, I call him the Gold Grill. He used to have a YouTube channel, Gold Grill Yard, man. I don't know if he still got it or not. But the Jibberday does, man. But Jibberday, he's doing big time. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, nobody has a problem. You just got to get your brain to a place where you can feel the feeling as if you've already arrived, even though you're not there. That's where I live at. I always live in my head at the place after I arrived. So what would you do after you have blank? Everybody write that down. Please. I'm begging. A better question is, how would you feel after you have blank? When you say that to the brain, especially before you go to sleep, is going to take you there. And it's going to produce that feeling, and that will order that for your life. That's how you really manifest. Manifesting is called baptism. You're supposed to immerse your brain in your solution, not the water. So it's like taking your brain and putting you in the future, in the present. That makes it happen fast. That's how you manifest fast. So anybody, especially with like money issues or manifestation issues, or let's say Sister Shirley of the West, right? So Sister Shirley of the West, she got a book out, she got this, that, another. Sister Shirley West has to do what we said today earlier, right? Number 1, Sister Shirley, she has to have high confidence. And if y'all notice, Sister Shirley, I'm on Facebook lockdown, Sister Shirley, so that's why I can't post for like 2 or 3 days. But anyway, so Sister Shirley, right, I'm getting ready to close, but I got to drop this last nugget. So I noticed Sister Shirley West's confidence has really increased. Her videos, look at her hair, look at her makeup, look at her smile. So I'm watching Sister Cheryl, and Sister Cheryl is like, damn, Doc, I don't know, this shit's working. I've been doing this. How long you been doing this, Sister Cheryl? Like hardcore for what, 3 months? How long has it been, Sister Cheryl? About 3 months. Sister Cheryl probably ain't made a dime, right, Sister Cheryl? So Sister Cheryl is thinking like, shit, man, Doc, this nigga was whack. He don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Oh, thank you, Brenda. My sister Brenda sent me some more stuff. Ooh, Walmart. I gotta go check it out. So Sister Cheryl is like, remember, firm, fair, and consistent. Rome wasn't built in a day. So I'm noticing, every other Negro is noticing too. They're like, damn. I remember Sister Cheryl first started doing videos, all I saw was her forehead. And I was like, what the? Sister Cheryl, you remember those videos? I remember them. And I was like, why is she so close to the camera? All I saw, Sister Cheryl, you used to have to move. I know all the little crevices in your forehead. Yeah, she started out, I don't know what the hell she was doing. But now look at her. Look at her videos. So now, so the show is mastering number one, confidence. Everybody got to do it to the show. So she's getting more confident in her videos. Not her product, not her service, not her self-esteem, not her don't, not her education. Doing and talking on camera. You've got to get comfortable with being in front of the camera. Because that's the age we live in. Now, I didn't create social media. I didn't create this whole freaking internet crap. But all I know is there's a lot of money going on. There's a 23-year-old kid on TikTok making $1 million a month. And I've been following her when she was 19. When we both was making the same. Now, again, all of them, they put a lot of money into advertising. I could be doing the same thing. But I like organic. What does that mean? Because I'm for the underdogs. So I'm not trying to become corporate and commercialized until it's time. When it's time to make the shift, okay, then I'm going to jump ship too. But for now, I'm trying to bring as many of my people up to speed. That'd be you. So the show got number one, confidence. So the show got number two, ebook. So the show, you need to do this next. You got to take one chapter of your book, Sister Cheryl. One chapter of your book, either the intro in chapter one, and you got to make that a separate ebook. If you need help, holler at me. We can hook it up. Then you take that and you put that on your website that we hooked up for you. In exchange for your email address, I will send you this free ebook that introduces you to mentorship. That's what you got to do tomorrow, Sister Cheryl. Because I like your videos, everybody likes your videos, but I don't want to pay no money for the whole book. I need a teaser. It's like, ladies, y'all know all y'all do. Show me some cleavage. Like, I need a low-cut blouse. I mean, not like for real. I'm just saying, like, when we go to the club, y'all, I'm not trying to do. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Ladies, you know how you test it. You know how you test the man when you're single. You go to the club, you paint them jeans on. It took you 3 days to put them damn jeans on. You walked up in the club and every nipple was like, damn, who the fuck is that? Titties was out. So, Sister Cheryl, I made a little sizzle. So you got to do what, Sister Cheryl? Well, you got to show me a little bit of the product. So that must be on your website and your sales funnel. Then, once I get a taste, that's when you give me the irresistible offer. In addition to the ebook, Sister Cheryl, you need to start doing counseling. When they get the free intro, when you get their email address, you offer them their ebook for $29.95, the whole book, plus a free counseling session, 15 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever you're comfortable with, to explain one-on-one mental maintenance. And when you give them Negroes on the phone, you don't let them off until they sign up for your new 30-day, 60-day, 90-day course. Hopefully you ain't got one yet. Sell it anyway. Because once you sell it, you're going to be highly motivated to create. I can create it for you in a day, if you need help. But I think you got it. Watch all them hotcakes. Watch how you start selling shit like hotcakes, Sister Chill. Because you have confidence in your videos. Everybody else got to do what Sister Chill has done. Nobody's doing videos confidently that when you get a camera, you hold my attention. Because you got 3 seconds to get my attention. You can't go in there and say, thank you, welcome to my video. My name is Click. You got to come on the video screaming and yelling, telling me benefits. Why in the beep am I listening to you? Everybody got to do that. You can't be on no videos like, singing Kumbaya and talking about the weather. No, you got 3 seconds and swipe. So you got to tell me what is your highest value in your product. So Sister Cheryl got to lead with what she's been doing. Are you double-minded? Do you have a hard time making a decision? Is it difficult for you to focus? My name is Cheryl West, and I am the author of Mental Maintenance or Mentalness. I teach people. I am an online consultant or coach. You gotta use one of those words. If you're really, really professional, you're going for the, upscale white folks, you're a consultant. If you like regular Joe, you hang out with our people, black folks, you're a coach. Remember, coach simply means you for the underdog. When you say you are a consultant, that means you got a degree from Harvard and you're a professional. So if you want to be a consultant, hey, you got to bring it. It's a lot easier to make money as a coach than it is a consultant. I guarantee anybody that does that, what I said today, how to make $100,000, and I do it every 3 months. But you guys, your goal should be for the first year, 12 months, you want to make $100K. By doing the 5 steps that we talked about earlier. But the number one thing is what we're talking about today, which is the situation that you're in right now doesn't matter. The situation, I don't care if you freaking in the negative, 100K, that shit doesn't matter. Your situation doesn't matter. So fuck it. Stop talking about it. Stop looking at it. F the situation. Why? Change your perception of the situation. What's the perception? If a fire breaks out, guess what? You got to be a firefighter. If you get into a conversation or into a fight, what you got to do? What? Well, you got to know some Aikido. You got to be able to stop the aggression. I don't fight. I stop aggression. One punch, one kill. That means that you need to know some wrist locks and some joints. Because you don't swing. I don't never punch somebody in the head. I'm taking out their knees. I'm taking out their any joint, elbow, wrist, knee, ankles. So if you know Aikido, you know what I'm talking about. Not jujitsu, not taekwondo, and you just get your ass whooped. You need to stop the aggression. If a dude can't walk, he can't fight. So that's what I teach. I don't fight. I stop aggression. So what I'm saying is, the worse things get, the more people need you. Why? You can stop aggression, meaning you can stop the recession. For example, Dr. Jerome. People's cars break down. He can repair the car. That's recession proof. Why? Negroes always got cars. Everybody got to drive, no matter how bad times get. In fact, he should make more money because people are holding on to their old cars because it costs too much to get a new one. So during the recession, Dr. Jerome should be making more money, just like Sister Cheryl and everybody on this call. So if the economy gets worse, you should be happy because your perception is, I'm going to get paid. So I'm kind of like, bring on the recession because Negroes going to get mentally disturbed and then they got to call me because I need to calm me down, bro. Let me tell you how to think. I'm a mentalist. I overstand how to change perception so that way you can see the glass half full instead of half empty. Once you're able to express that in a manner where people see the benefits of it, they're going to go in their pocket and they got $2. $1 they're going to use for bread, the other $1 they're going to use to pay you. Why? Because they need peace of mind. Everybody do. Because everybody's on edge. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Everybody's worried because they're looking at the situation. Instead of changing the perception of the situation and says, shit, I don't good. If the recession comes, I'm good. If it don't come, I'm good. Anyway you bless me, Lord, I'll be satisfied. So brothers and sisters, go to the place where you're at, where you're able to answer the question, what would I do after I have $1 million? Then I pay off all my bills. I travel the country. I bless, family and friends. I go and shit. I drive to Arkansas, hang out with my sister Brenda for a whole month. I just sit out there, Brenda, she's like, damn, bro, you need to go home, man. I like you, but not that much. I like y'all. I love you. Appreciate you. We'll see y'all tomorrow. God bless.